So in 1.4, we're going to be solving equations. So before we've been dealing with expressions, they've just been like equations but without the equal sign, so we've been simplifying. Now we're actually going to solve equations. So the goal in solving an equation is to get the variable by itself on one side of the equation and a number on the other side of the equation. So we're going to have like x is equal to some number here. So our variable is going to be on one side all by itself, then the number on the other side. So we're just going to get an answer for our variable. To isolate the variable, we must reverse the operation acting on the variable. We do this by performing the inverse operation on both sides of the equation. So in our first example, we have x plus 13 is equal to 7. What do you think we do here? Subtract 13 on both sides. So the inverse of addition is subtraction. So to get rid of that plus 13, we subtract 13 on both sides because it cancels out here. So we have x is equal to, what's 7 minus 13? Tessa? Positive or negative? Negative 6, because the 13 is bigger, and that's negative. So we get x is equal to negative 6. If we had subtraction, what do you think the inverse of subtraction is? Addition. So it works both ways. For the next one, we have negative 6x is equal to 42. What do we have to do to get rid of this negative 6 to get our x all by itself? Tessa?
Are you going to divide negative 6?
Awesome. Since negative 6 being multiplied to x, we do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So we divide negative 6 on both sides. So the inverse of multiplication is division. So the negative 6's cancel. So then we're just left with x on the left. What's 42 divided by negative 6? Tessa?
It's going to be 7.
Positive or negative?
Negative 7.
Negative 7. Any questions here? All right, next one. So we have x plus 4 is equal to negative 12. On the right side of the page here, I have the step-by-step instructions. If you ever forget what you need to do here, this one we only have one inverse operation that we have to do. But if we have more, we want to follow these steps. So step 1 is to simplify each side of the equation, if needed, by distributing or combining like terms. Here we don't have to distribute or combine like terms, so we're good. You want to move the variables to one side of the equation by using the opposite operation of addition or subtraction. So what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So we would subtract 4 on both sides. So it cancels out here. And then what's negative 12 minus 4? 16. Positive or negative? Negative 16. Bless you. And then once our variable is isolated, that's it. We're done. We can always take what answer we got and plug it back into x, and our equation is going to make sense. So if we have negative 16 plus 4, that's going to equal negative 12. So what's negative 16 plus 4? Negative 12. So we get negative 12 is equal to negative 12. If it's the same thing, we know we did it right. So you can always check your work by taking your answer and plugging it back into your variable. All right, so let's look at the next one. Here we have a little bit more stuff going on. What do you think I have to do first to get my variable all by itself, Brooke?
Add 8 to both sides.
Awesome. Add 8 to both sides. Add 8. Add 8. So it cancels out there. I have negative 6y is equal to, what's 16 plus 8? 24. What should I do next, Nicole?
You divide negative 6 on both sides.
Divide negative 6 on both sides. Perfect. So the negative 6's cancel. I get y is equal to negative 4. Awesome. Good job. And then if I wanted to, I could take my answer and plug it back into the question to check my work. So I'd have negative 6 times negative 4 minus 8. I'm going to get 16 if I did it right. What's negative 6 times negative 4? Negative times a negative is positive 24. And what's 24 minus 8? 16. So 16 is equal to 16. Perfect. I did it right. So negative 4 is my answer. Alright, let's go to the next. Solve for x. What do you think I need to do to get my x all by itself? Brooke. Awesome. X is being divided by 3, so I want to do the inverse of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 3 on both sides. So the 3 on the bottom is going to cancel out with the 3 on the top. So I have negative x is equal to, what's 2 times 3? 6. Is that my answer? Nope. What else do I have to do? Awesome. I could multiply or divide by negative 1. It'd get me the same thing. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. So the negatives cancel. So I'm just left with positive x. What's 6 divided by negative 1? Negative 6. All right, let's plug it in to check. So we're going to take negative 6, plug it into x. So negative 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. What does a negative turn into? A positive. So this would become positive 6. And what's 6 divided by 3? 6 divided by 3. 2. So 2 is equal to 2. Perfect. We did it right. Any questions here? Awesome. Next page. All right, so reading our step-by-step instructions on the right, it says simplify each side of the equation if needed by distributing or combining like terms. So that's what we want to do here because we got a lot of math going on the left side. So what do you think I should do first? Ashton. Can I add 6n plus, or 5n plus 6? No, because they're not like terms. So what am I going to do with the parentheses, Alan? Distribute. So I'm going to distribute the 5 into the parentheses. So 3 plus, what's 5 times 5n? 25n. And what's 5 times 6? 30. Can I combine any like terms now? 3 and 30. So 25n, what's 3 plus 30? 33. And that's equal to 233. What can I do next? Jordan? Subtract 33 on both sides. So 25n is equal to, what's 233 minus 33? 200. And then what should I do next? Jordan? Divide 25 on both sides. So n is equal to, what's 200 divided by 25? Awesome, 8. Perfect. So n is equal to 8 is our answer. Now I could always take 8 and plug it back into n and work out the left side again just to make sure that I did it right. So let's do that. We have 3. My pencil works. 3 plus 5 times 5 times 8 plus 6 is equal to 233. Again, we have a lot going on the left side, so we just make sure that we follow our order of operations. What do I have to do first? 5 times 8, awesome. I want to do the parentheses first, and inside those parentheses I have 5 times 8, which would be 40. What should I do next? 40 plus 6. So 3 plus 5, we get 46, is equal to 233. What should I do next? Jordan. 5 times 46. Do you know what 5 times 46 is? Let's do it on the side here. So 46 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 4 would be 20, plus 3 would be 23. So 230. So we get 3 plus 230 is equal to 233. 3 plus 230 is 233. So 233 is equal to 233. And we know we did it right. So here we have y's on both sides. So eventually we're going to have to combine some like terms. What do you think we should do first? Jordan.
The parentheses.
The parentheses, what am I going to do with them?
3 times y and 3 times -3.
Awesome. I want to distribute inside my parentheses first. So 3 times y would be what? 3y. And 3 times -3? -9. So I have -27 plus 6y is equal to 3y minus 9. Now remember, my goal is to get my variable on one side and all my numbers on the other side. So what do you think I should do next? Brooke. I can add 27 to both sides. Awesome. So it cancels out on the left. Do I have any like terms that I can combine with that 27? -9. So it's -9 plus 27. Remember, that's the same thing as saying 27 minus 9. 18. Perfect. So 3y plus 18. What should I do next? Alan. So I want to get all my variables on one side and all my numbers on the other. So I have a variable on both sides. Can I get that 3y moved to the other side? What do you think, Alan? Tessa?
Have you added?
Awesome. Well, it's being added because it's positive now, the 3y. So I subtract it. So I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. Just like how I would move a number to the other side, I can do the same thing with 3y. And I'm just going to combine it with the 6y. So what's 6y minus 3y? 3y. So 3y is equal to 18. What should I do next? Divide what? Divide 3 on both sides. So the 3's cancel. I get y is equal to 6. How can I check my work here? What do I need to do? Awesome. So I plug 6 in to both of my y's to check my work. So it's equal to 3 times 6 minus 3. When checking your work, it helps just to do one side get a number and the other side get a number. You don't want to move things on both sides. Just solve each side. So what's the first thing we should do on the left side? 6 times 6, which is 36. So what's negative 27 plus 36? Or 36 minus 27? 9. Awesome. So let's see if we can get 9 on the right side too. So what's the first thing we should do to simplify the right side? I could distribute. That would definitely work, but a little bit easier than distributing. 6 minus 3 first. So 3 times, what's 6 minus 3? 3. And what's 3 times 3? 9. So 9 is equal to 9. We did our work right. So our answer is y is equal to 6. All right, for the next 3 problems, the last 3 problems, we are going to solve for the given variable. So here it gives us v is equal to L times W times H, and we have to solve for W. These are good types of like SAT questions, which you guys will probably take the SAT next year-ish, but also the PSAT, things like that you guys take here. So we want to solve for W. That means we want to get W all by itself. So I want to do the inverse operation of everything that's being applied to W now. So what's happening between L and W? Multiplication. So what's the inverse of multiplication? Division. So I want to divide both sides by L to get that L to go to the other side. So the L is going to cancel out on the right, and I have V divided by L on the left. That's an L. And then on the right, I have WH. So again, I want to get my W all by itself. So what's happening between W and H? Multiplication. So how do I get that H to the other side? Divide. So the opposite of multiplication is division. I'm going to divide H, just like I divided L. So it cancels out there. I'm going to divide H, so it goes on the bottom on the left. So I get V divided by L times H is equal to W. So for these types of questions, you're just doing the inverse operations to get that one variable that it tells you to all by itself. So this one was specific. It told me it wanted W all by itself. So I had to move everything else other than W to the other side. So my answer is V divided by L times H is equal to W. Do you guys have any questions on this one? Ready for the next? All right, so here we have C is equal to 9 over 5 times F minus 32. And we want to get this in terms of, or we want to get it to be F equals. So what's F in terms of C? So our goal is to get it to be F equals instead of C equals. So I'm going to rewrite it here. So I want to get F all by itself. So what should I do here? I can distribute, but my goal is to get everything to the other side. So what's happening between the 5 over 9 and F? Multiplication. 5 over 9 is being multiplied to F. So how do I get it to the other side? Divide. So I can divide both sides by 5 over 9. So divide by 5 over 9, divide by 5 over 9. So it cancels out there. So on the left side, I have this fraction in a fraction. Not pretty. What happens when I have a fraction in a fraction? Anybody remember how we can get rid of it. You guys remember keep, change, flip? Yeah, so I keep the top, keep C. Instead of division, I'm going to change to multiplication, and I flip the fraction on the bottom. So instead of 5 over 9, it becomes 9 over 5. Keep, change, flip when you have a fraction and a fraction. So a prettier way of writing C times 9 over 5 would just be 9C over 5. So I just multiplied them together. And then this is equal to, my 5 over 9's canceled on the right side, so I'm just left with F minus 32. Now again, my goal is to get F all by itself. So what else do I have to do on the right side to get it to be alone? How do I get F to be all by itself? Awesome. Since we're subtracting 32, we do the opposite and we add 32 to both sides. So we get 9C over 5 plus 32 is equal to F. Can I combine 9C over 5 plus 32? Are they like terms? Nope, so I can't combine them, so I just leave it like that. This one is tricky. This one's a hard one. I left it in the notes just to get you to think a little bit, but this one was a tough one.
Will something like this be on the quiz?
Not like this one, but like the one before, yeah. What you'll see from the homework, there's not any that are this tough in the homework, so the quiz will be similar to the homework. Any questions on this one? All right, let's look at the next one. So we want to solve for h. Our goal is to get h all by itself. So we have to move 1/2 to the other side and b to the other side. What should we do? Jordan.
So 1/2
How can I get rid of 1/2 on the right side?
divided on both sides.
I can divide both sides by 1/2. So I have a divided by 1/2. What do I do if I have a fraction in a fraction? Keep, change, flip. So I keep the top, change to multiplication, and flip the fraction. 2 over 1. So I have a times 2 over 1. What does that simplify to? 2a. Do I need to put the over 1? No. Because it's like 6 over 1. It's just 6. So 2a over 1. You don't need the 1 in your denominator. All right, so 2a is equal to, we just got rid of the 1/2, b times h. Again, my goal is to get h all by itself. So how do I move that b to the other side? Brooke. Divide b on both sides. So b is being multiplied to h. I want to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I divide b on both sides. So now I have 2a divided by b is equal to h. H is all by itself now, so that's my answer. Just to show you guys another way to do this one, so I have a is equal to 1/2 b times h. What happens if I multiply 1/2 times 2? What's 1/2 times 2? Tessa.
Would it be 1 over 4?
Nicole.
Wouldn't it be 1?
1. So it's like 1/2 times 2 over 1, right? This would be 2 over 2, which is 1. So 1/2 times 2 is just 1. So if I multiply both sides by 2, this would be 2a is equal to, this is 1, so it cancels, b times h. And then I can divide both sides by b. So I get 2a is over b is equal to h. So it's just a different way of doing it. You get the same answer. But multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as like dividing by 2, and the opposite of division is multiplication. So you can multiply to get rid of it. So in 19, we want to solve for g. We want to get g all by itself. G. So we want to move everything else to the other side. How can I move that 1/2 to the other side? Divide it. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1/2. Divide by 1/2. Divide by 1/2. So I have s divided by 1/2. What do I do when I have a fraction and a fraction? Keep, change, flip. So I keep the s, change to multiplication, flip 1 over 2 to 2 over 1. So what do I get here? 2s. And I just canceled out the 1/2 on the right side. So I have 2s is equal to gt squared. Now again, my goal is to get that g all by itself. So how can I move the t squared to the other side? Divide it. Divided by t squared, divided by t squared. So it'll cancel out on the right. On the left, I have 2s divided by t squared. What do I have on the right side? G, which was my goal. All I had to do is get g all by itself. So that's my answer. So this one looked kind of tricky because you had that squared in it. But all you do is just divide the t squared to the other side. So these questions are just practicing your inverse operations. All right, let's pick one from the top. So from 1 through 16, which one do you guys want to do? Let's do 14 together. All right, what do you think I should do first for 14? Do you have any like terms that I can combine? The n and 2n, perfect. So on the left side, it stays the same, n plus 4. What's n plus 2n? 3n. Any other like terms that I can combine on the right side? Negative 5 and negative 5. What's negative 5 minus 5? Negative 10. Now remember, I want all my variables on one side, all my numbers on the other side. So what do I have to do next? Minus 4. So n is equal to, because this cancels, 3n. What's negative 10 minus 4? Negative 14. What should I do next? So I want to get all my variables on one side. Right now I have an n and 3n. What's happening over here? What's that 3n doing with the 14? We subtract 3n because it's being added on the right side. So we do the opposite and subtract it. So it'll cancel out. What's n minus 3n? Negative 2n. So negative 2n is equal to negative 14. What should I do next? Awesome, divide both sides by negative 2. So I have n is equal to, what's negative 14 divided by negative 2? Positive or negative? positive 7.